Update time. I'm not sure if we saw this before, but my client has been concerned about his black water tank. This is just for poopies only. So you notice the toilet is the only, well, I suppose you couldn't tell, but the toilet is the only thing that goes into this tank. But it does, we are downhill here and water washes through here, and he doesn't want a lot of groundwater being contributed or percolating into the tank over time, because it just means you have to have the tank pumped more often. So the flushing water and the turds themselves coming from the toilet is all that he wants in here. So he has a tile loop around it, which is perforated and has stone, which is supposed to be a path of least resistance for the water to enter, and then that has slope out the other corner and down the hill. So in essence, it's protecting this tank. That was here, but he's been remediating that. This run of pipe was like 2 sections of polyethylene 4-inch pipe. It's a heavy, thick wall, and this is all like a nominal 4 inches, but it varies, so you just call it 4 is what I mean. But this size is greater, more like straight, solid PVC 40, Schedule 40 4-inch pipe. It's about that size in diameter, but you notice that, you know, a straight section of pipe is obviously a straight shot. This had a big belly in it, and it went downhill like that, and that big dip was right here. And so toilet flushing, the technicalities of it, you want the water to carry along the solids, the paper and the turds at a reasonable speed and travel all the way out of the septic, or into the septic tank, out through the septic system. You don't want the water to run, you don't want to have such incredible slope that the water runs all the way quick and the solids don't quite make it, and so the next round of water carries them a little further, but it contributes more solids, and then the next round of water, etc., etc., and you end up with a slow system. So a dip in that was also contributing to slowing down material enough, and the turds and stuff were sitting here. So we have a straight shot. That was the idea. Toilet, straight section of pipe. Well, another thing that my client was doing was making a place to actually pump this out that doesn't contribute water into the tank. So before, you'd have to uncover this square hole in the, come on, geez. You have to uncover this square hole in the concrete tank. And it's just flush with the top surface of this, and so water was getting in there. So my client bought this clean out port here, but he had it just using roofing tar. You can see the black tar. He had it tarred in place, but it's not an adhesive. Tar isn't going to work for you. So I didn't catch it quick enough, but I said, you know, if you want that adhered, you want to use, where is it, polyurethane adhesive, like a PL Premium, and they sell a PL branded for outdoor, for landscaping purposes, so you can kind of use it to stick stones together. And the polyurethane adhesive is just aggressively sticky. It does have to air dry. It's not a chemical cure, but it's aggressively sticky, and so I had to clean all the tar off. I used brake clean. I was going to use gasoline, but I didn't want heavy gas fumes going down in this black water tank and basically making a bomb here. So I used a couple cans of brake cleaner, and that cuts petroleum-based stuff real well, and I scrubbed it and blasted it all away, so you can see how I scoured and cleaned this, and I cleaned off the PVC, and then I gave the PVC a little tooth inside and out with the grinder with a flap disc on it, sandpaper disc on it, and then I just put a big fat bead around the bottom edge of the PVC, stuck it down, added a bead around the outside, and kind of blended that out, and then I blended out the inside as well. And I don't want to get real rough with this, but it's just been a couple hours, so give that 24 hours and that'll be really something. I go so far as to say that's better than hydraulic cement to stick, considering that that's plastic. It's better than hydraulic cement in this situation, and hydraulic cement, it would be something you'd use around through here too. So our issue before was their pipe size was, it wouldn't go through the hole that was built into this concrete, because the hole is designed for sewer pipe, which is a light duty, light wall, and overall, even though it's 4 inches, it's a little bit smaller in diameter, so sure, went right in there. We don't want it to come so far that you can't get the sucker siphon tube down in here. Watch me drop my phone in the shithole. So I set it all up real careful, and I went up and I glued all up to the toilet, and I manipulated all the fittings and got everything glued, and then I came back and looked, and lo and behold, it was sticking out in the way here. It had been disturbed, so I had to cut it there, take an inch or two out of it, and put it back together again with a coupling, which is why there's a coupling there. It really pissed me off again. I wanted one nice smooth straight shot, which is what it is, but this is another working by yourself situation. I didn't have anybody to babysit this end or support this against my pressure and, you know, and moving it around from over there. So in the end, there's no drain in the way. It just comes in and stuff can roll right. It goes right through the thick wall of this thing, so material can move right along and right in there. I went around that with PL adhesive as well, and I got this PL adhesive. This will be something that we can bury now. And when it comes time to have the septic tank pumped, you just uncover this little location here, or maybe he'll just leave this uncovered always. It just goes under the deck. So I wanted to look at this before we put it back together again. And he got his stairs. It's something else my client's working on himself here. He's got treated ground contact 6x6 framing sections, and then he just staggered them and went all the way up the hill, pinning them through with rebar, and now it's one solid unit that he backfilled with stone, so it's quite nice, quite a big improvement over what was here before. So we're dialing in the outside as we work inside. I moved the electrical panel finally. I know I was talking a lot of shit about it, so we got her done. Let me see if I can crawl up the bank here without slipping, pop myself in the mouth. We were on the ridge before talking to you. We had a funny little video we did where we sawed off of course the power was shut off, but it used to come down here to the meter. And so like I said we were going to do, Grant got that gingerbread shaped stuff off there. We put the new straight stuff up, and then we just started there and put the existing cable that was still attached to the meter right back down the side of the building, and attached it with some fresh new straps, and did a little jig jog here that'll have to be addressed with a little additional piece of fascia, but I thought that's a nice place to put the seam rather than in here somewhere. You just don't look there. So we have the new fan for the bathroom coming out there, and this jogs around to the meter back down. So we got the meter here. That's not plugged into its receptacle, but that came in as it always did. And then we took off and got our ground collected there. All the separate pieces, you turn those into a pigtail and plug them in there. And we put our power, our red to red and our black to black, which of course they're both hot, but it's just a best practice. It wasn't like that before, but then we routed our new 200 amp service cable. You cannot go into the building more than 5 feet. You can go around and around and over and up and over the roof if you wanted to be nuts, but on the outside, I mean, but once you enter the structure, you can't go farther than 5 feet. So we had to really cleanly, I wanted to go down underneath. I thought I could get away with it because it's on piers and call running across the bottom, not in the structure, but I'm not gonna gamble. I don't think we could. So we did try to do a clean turn here, went up, turned at the elevation that goes over the door. And this will get painted in as this gets painted in and everything with the new color. And then we turned and went through here, and that gets us in to the new panel location there. We had a couple holes to drill right across, and then we're right in here. We did run into an issue with the ground lug in the box. I don't know if I can get the light to... This is your 2 legs of your power. And then you have a ground lug there to plug into. It would not, the little grub screw or big set screw would not let go. It wouldn't budge until I tore the terminal right off, so I have a new terminal I have to throw in there. But so our panel is essentially physically located and all but connected back up well enough to ask them to turn us back on, but I'm actually going to do all of the wiring in here without being turned back on. So that's the state of that and the septic. And then I guess we'll make another video here and discuss what else we've accomplished on the inside.